First-person shooters are extremely popular, and because of that very reason, it can be difficult to nail down a new one to play. But luckily for you guys, we've got you covered. We've compiled 14 of the most essential first-person shooters for gamers in 2023. You can follow along, let us know in the comments how many of these you're actually playing or you would give a try. And we tried to find that nice, even balance of PvE and PvP experiences here. So hopefully this opens up some good discussion in the comments and maybe even get you to try out something new. Drop a like on the video if you're a fan of first-person shooters. Make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And at number 14, 6 Days in Fallujah. This game was in development for the longest time, and I'm willing to bet some of you even forgot that it was coming about. But not only is it still in the works, it actually launched on PC not too long ago. Early reception, pretty solid. 6 Days in Fallujah is a tactical FPS set in the late 2004 during the real-life 6-day battle that took place in that region. Now, the game features extremely tense and replayable combat scenarios with unflinching realism, and it's all about staying with your squad and working together to make it through a procedurally generated level. Building, streets, complete objectives, it's all new every time. Now, when it comes to modern military shooters, 6 Days raises the bar. It's absolutely worth a look if you're a PC player. Now, console ports, they'll be coming later this year, maybe early 2024, but PC players, you can jump in right now. At number 13, Ready or Not. Speaking of tactical shooters, this took the genre by storm when it launched in Steam's Early Access program in late 2021. It is a spiritual successor to the classic SWAT series of games, and it features incredibly tense and realistic urban warfare scenarios. You play as a police SWAT team in a fictional region of California. You have to carry out various missions, various objectives, but it's all about your attention to detail. The AI in this game is super dynamic, it's super unpredictable, intended to be as realistic as possible in these situations, and there are a lot of ways that you can approach every situation. Stakes are always going to be high, and it's one of the most intense experiences in the entire FPS genre right now. Before we move on, guys, if you get anything from G2A.com, consider using code CHAOS for some cash back. The link is at the top of the description. At number 12, Metal Hellsinger. Who's a fan of Doom? Raise your hand. Who's a fan of metal music? Raise your hand. How about playing Doom while listening to heavy metal music? You're basically just playing Doom normally, but anyway. Metal Hellsinger is a rhythm FPS. Launched in late 2022, was critically acclaimed. It was a perfect blend of Doom-inspired combat with this heavy soundtrack that rewarded you for doing actions to the beat of the song. You move, you shoot to the beat, you increase your power, and it also just feels really cool to do it perfectly. Rhythm action games are getting more popular with time. In Metal, it's going to be remembered as one of the best the genre has to offer. Definitely pick it up because it's an extremely unique and addicting experience. It's going to get your blood pumping. Even if you're not a fan of heavy metal music, it doesn't matter. At number 11, Cyberpunk 2077. Now, with the first paid expansion, Phantom Liberty, right around the corner, there's never been a better time to jump back into Cyberpunk. First-person RPG from CD Projekt Red. Everybody knows the story. Launched at the end of 2020. And it was the perfect way to wrap up a horrible year because it was one of the most controversial game launches in history due to the abysmal technical state. The game had to be pulled from sale, pulled from shelves. Yeah, took months for patches before it was even close to being what they advertised. Now that the game has been all fixed up and band-aids have been put on, it's actually fun. It's worth another look. The story's good, the world's engaging, and the combat is actually really satisfying. But if you've been waiting for something new to get you back into it, wait until September. There's a huge overhaul update coming because CD Projekt Red is going to completely change the way this game plays. Just about everything being transformed into this new improved version of itself in preparation for Phantom Liberty's expansion. Or, I mean, if you put Cyberpunk down a while ago, be ready to install in September because it's going to be basically a brand new game. Now we crack into the top 10. Ultra Kill. Just saying that word makes you sound cool. Ultra Kill. Ultra Kill. It's a game that first hit early access in 2020, but it's got a lot of content and stability updates over the years, and it's currently one of the most popular FPS games on Steam. The general idea of Ultra Kill is easy. Fast-paced boomer shooter, just like Doom Eternal, but you have added mechanics like style points and letter grades that you'd see in a game like maybe Devil May Cry. The end result? One of the most exciting, satisfying FPS combat systems on the market right now, and it's all wrapped up in this nice little bow with awesome art style and a good soundtrack. If you're a fan of arena shooters and you like verticality and explosions, give Ultra Kill a try. At number 9, Rainbow Six Siege. Now, I feel like Siege comes and goes from the public eye as it pleases, but it'll never give up its spot as one of the most popular multiplayer shooters in the world, and It's for good reason. Rainbow was one of the most influential tactical shooter franchises in the industry during the early 2000s, but Ubisoft needed a huge change in the formula during the mid-2010s. What they got was Rainbow Six Siege. Tactical PvP shooter, tons of different characters, gadgets, all kinds of stuff at the player's disposal. It creates this constant game of chess on top of the tight shooting mechanics that test your aim and reaction time more than most other games. It's insanely popular. It's likely never going to go away. Even if Ubisoft releases a crappy spin-off game called something like Rainbow Six Extraction, if that were to ever happen, it still wouldn't go away. Yeah. At number 8, Warhammer 40K Bolt Gun. Let me ask you guys, should I get into Warhammer? I've never played it, ever. Released in May of 2023, Bolt Gun, they say, is one of the best Warhammer games of all time. It was heavily inspired by the boomer shooter craze of the late 2010s and early 2020s, and the end result, it looks insane. It does. If you've never heard of Warhammer 40K, you play as a space marine traveling the galaxy, laying waste to hordes of demons and enemy soldiers with some pretty insane weapons, glorious movement abilities, and a button dedicated to taunting your opponents. Dedicated straight to it, which is awesome. Bolt Gun may seem just like another retro-style boomer shooter on the surface, but it looks like it's one of the best FPS games of 2023. At number 7, Apex Legends. You may be tired of hearing about Apex at this point, but the way I see it, it's popular for a reason. Battle Royale games may be getting a little tiresome for people, but Apex is a game that you can just pick back up. It's unique. It's a hybrid of Battle Royale and hero shooters. It gives you this massive roster of characters to pick from. You drop into this large map, 2 teammates, try to be the last trio standing. Now with the addition of a bunch of new maps and weapons over the last few years, Respawn have maintained their place in the top tier of Battle Royale games, and while it may have stolen Titanfall 3 away from us, I'm willing to forgive it, because it's good. Hopefully the next thing they add is the ability to play any map at any time. At number 6, Destiny 2. To say this IP got off to a rocky start would be a gross understatement. The first Destiny received very mixed reviews upon release due to the repetitive combat, questionable business model, and not a lot of content, but eventually updated itself to be one of the most popular looter shooters on the market. Then the sequel dropped in 2017 and strangely undid a lot of the progress that the first game's expansions made, and it ended up becoming, again, one of the most controversial live service games out there. But ever since the split between Activision and Bungie, Destiny 2 has been soaring. There's so much content, and a lot of it's totally free. The combat's good, the gameplay's addicting, the graphics and soundtrack are amazing, and with the sheer amount of things to do in both worlds, PvP and PvE, it's hard not to recommend Destiny 2 to literally anybody who likes first-person shooters. I know it can be a little overwhelming to get into if you're first starting, and I can understand that. Destiny 2 is a great game. Arguably, the peak of looter shooters today? At number 5. Payday 2. Raise your hand if you're hyped for Payday 3. With the new game just a couple months away, more people than ever are going back to Payday 2, and I'll tell you, it's better than it was. This co-op FPS is entirely dedicated to that team experience. You have dozens of missions, jobs, compete with up to 3 friends, complete with an expansive progression system, countless weapons, gear pieces, everything you want to spend your hard-earned cash on. It's one of the best co-op games around, and the long-awaited sequel, it's got some massive shoes to fill. Is Overkill Software up to it? I don't know. Judging by the early footage it's leaked, I hope so. But isn't Overkill the one that did that Walking Dead game? At number 4, Team Fortress 2. Yes, I'm serious. 15-year-old game is on our list today at number 4. Still one of the biggest PvP shooters on Steam. Has tens of thousands of players logging in every single day and still holds its spot in the top 10. The game basically invented hero shooters as we know them, and it's aged beautifully. It has that classic Valve FPS feel to it, along with the timeless humor and the characterization that we know and love. It's free to play. You don't have to feel guilty spending all your hard-earned money on the hats. You don't. Seriously, go try TF2. A game that's lasted over 15 years deserves your attention. And raise your hand if you've never played it. At number 3, Halo the Master Chief Collection. While Halo Infinite may have been one of the biggest disappointments of the last decade, along with Halo 5, that's 2 in a row, it shouldn't take away from how awesome the Master Chief Collection is. Honestly, I would say this is a must-own for anyone who has an Xbox or a gaming PC, just from the amount of content you get for the price of admission. It gives you access to 5 classic games and Halo 4, along with their multiplayer and their PvE content, and it managed to unify the Halo community under one roof and get everybody to play together. To this day, there's hundreds of thousands of people playing the Master Chief Collection across Xbox and PC. Hopefully, Microsoft hasn't overlooked the potential of giving Gears of War the same treatment. At number 2 today, Left 4 Dead 2. Valve can't miss with FPS games. They really can't. It's another game that dropped over a decade and yet manages to stay near the top of the Steam charts every single month because it's so good. Co-op zombie shooter not only contains some of the best characters and most satisfying shooting of any game, but it also has one of the biggest modding scenes on the PC. Stuff that people have come up with is ridiculous. The base content of Left 4 Dead 2 will take you dozens of hours to get through. Once you dive into the library of mods, it's endless. You'll never put it down. It's a testament to how powerful a great game can be when the developers enable modding, and at this point, I don't think Left 4 Dead 3 is ever going to come out because Valve knows people will be modding Left 4 Dead 2 until the world ends. And at number 1 today has to be CSGO. Counter-Strike has remained virtually unchanged for over 2 decades, and yet it persists. Yes, there's been a few different Counter-Strike games, and they all presented some very minor changes to the formula. But for the most part, Counter-Strike has remained completely true to its original vision, and it absolutely refuses to give up the top spot of the multiplayer FPS pyramid. Free to play, runs on basically any computer. Fundamentally one of the most quintessential gaming experiences to ever wear an FPS label. Even if you hate tactical shooters, and even if you never want to play a PvP game again, you owe it to yourself to download CSGO and just see what all the commotion is about. Remember, this game launched over a decade ago, still breaking its own concurrent player count record right now. That's ridiculous. And those are 14 FPS games you should give a try or pick back up. Let me know one that we didn't add here that we should have, and I'll see you guys soon.